Gentlemen, if you're over 60, I need you to stay with me for the next few minutes because what I'm about to share could quietly change how you feel every single morning. Let me ask you something honest. Do you remember what it felt like to wake up and just know your body was working? That natural firmness first thing in the morning that you never even had to think about? It was just there, a signal from your body that everything was functioning the way it should. And then, somewhere along the way, it started fading. Maybe it happened gradually. Maybe you woke up one morning and realized it had been weeks since you noticed that response, and a quiet thought crept in. Is this just what getting older means? Is this permanent? Am I done? I want to stop you right there, because that thought, as understandable as it is built on a myth, and that myth has stolen confidence from millions of men who deserve to know the truth. You are not broken. Your body has not given up on you, and what's happening is far more reversible than you've been led to believe. Today, I'm going to show you two specific areas on your body that, when gently activated, can help restore the blood flow and nerve communication that drive morning responsiveness. These aren't complicated medical procedures. They're simple, safe, anatomically grounded techniques that you can practice in the privacy of your own home starting tonight. But before I show you those two areas, I need you to understand why this is happening in the first place. Because once you understand biology, everything I'm about to teach you will make perfect sense. I'm Dr. Jocelyn. I've spent the last 5 years working with men in midlife and beyond, focusing specifically on circulation, nerve health, pelvic wellness, and helping men reconnect with the physical confidence they thought was behind them. And I can tell you from direct experience, the men who get the best results aren't the ones chasing miracle solutions. They're the ones who finally understand how their bodies actually work and start giving those systems what they need. So let's start there. Now, before we go deeper, if this kind of calm, honest, medically grounded information is something you value, do me a favor right now. Tap that like button so this reaches more men who need to hear it. Drop a comment telling me where you're watching from, because this community stretches across the entire world and I genuinely love hearing from you. And subscribe if you haven't already, because what we cover in upcoming videos builds directly on what you'll learn today. All right, let's talk about what's actually happening inside your body. Here's what most men don't realize. Morning firmness isn't random. It's not just something that happens for no reason. It's actually a health signal. Your body cycles through stages of sleep, and during certain phases, your brain sends signals through your nervous system that increase blood flow to the pelvic region. When your blood vessels are flexible, your nerves are responsive, and your pelvic muscles are active, blood flows in, gets held in place, and you wake up with that familiar firmness. It's your body's way of saying everything is connected, everything is working. So when that signal starts to fade, it doesn't mean your body has broken down. It means the communication system has gotten quieter. The nerves aren't firing as strongly. The blood vessels have stiffened slightly. The muscles that help retain blood flow have weakened from underuse. Years of sitting at desks, driving, reduced physical activity, and simply not paying attention to pelvic health all contribute. And because this happens gradually, without pain, without any dramatic event, most men just assume it's permanent. They assume it's age. But it's not age. It's reduced stimulation, and your body still has the capacity to respond when you give it the right kind of attention. That's exactly what these two areas are about. Area number 1, the perineum. The first area is located between the base of your scrotum and the anus. In medical terms, this is called the perineum, and I want you to think of it as a gateway to the entire pelvic support system. Directly beneath this area sit some of the most important muscles, nerves, and blood vessels involved in erectile response. These are the structures that help blood flow into erectile tissue and, critically, help keep it there. When this region becomes tight, inactive, or neglected, which happens naturally with age and prolonged sitting, the circulation slows and the nerve signals weaken. Biologically, what's happening is that the pelvic floor muscles lose tone. Blood moves through the area less efficiently. The nerves that communicate between your brain and your reproductive system become sluggish. Emotionally, this is where many men describe a feeling of disconnection. Not pain exactly, but a sense that the lower body has gone quiet, like a part of you has gone to sleep and hasn't woken up. Practically, it means weaker morning response, less spontaneous firmness, and a growing sense that your body isn't yours anymore. Here's how to gently reawaken this area. Find a comfortable seat. either on a firm chair or the edge of your bed. Take a small, soft rolled towel or a cushion and place it beneath you so that it makes gentle contact with the perineal area. There should be absolutely no pain or sharp pressure. This is not about force. It's about awareness. Once you're settled, breathe slowly and deeply. Let your body relax into the support. Stay here for 3 to 5 minutes. Focus on what you feel. After a few sessions, many men report warmth, mild tingling, or a subtle pulsing sensation in the area. That's not your imagination. That's blood flow returning. That's nerve activity waking up. That's your body responding to stimulation it hasn't received in years. I've had patients tell me that the moment they felt sensation return to this area, something shifted emotionally. They stopped feeling hopeless. They started feeling like their body was still on their side. This practice doesn't create something new, it supports what's already there. It reminds your body of a function it never actually lost. Area number 2, the inner thigh crease. The second area runs along the inner crease where your thigh meets your lower abdomen. You can find it by tracing your finger along that natural fold on either side. Now, why does this matter? Because directly beneath this crease run the femoral artery and femoral nerve. These are two of the primary pipelines responsible for delivering blood and nerve signals to your entire pelvic region. When this area becomes stiff or restricted, which happens from years of sitting, inactivity, or tight clothing, the flow gets choked off. It's like pinching a garden hose. The water is still there, but it can't get through efficiently. Biologically, restricted flow through this region directly affects how much blood reaches erectile tissue. It also dulls the nerve signals that trigger arousal response. Emotionally, men describe a heaviness or fatigue in the lower body, a sense that everything below the waist feels sluggish and unresponsive. Practically, it means inconsistent morning firmness, reduced sensation, and a body that feels older than it should. To activate this area, use your fingertips to gently trace along the inner thigh crease on both sides. Where you feel tightness or tension, apply light, steady pressure. Breathe slowly as you do this. You're not trying to force anything, you're encouraging the tissue to soften and the blood flow to improve. Many men notice warmth spreading through the pelvic area after just a few days of consistent practice. That warmth is circulation doing exactly what it's supposed to do. 3, supporting habits. Now, to reinforce what these 2 activation points are doing, I want to give you 3 simple daily habits that amplify the results. First, practice deep belly breathing for about 5 minutes each day. When you breathe deeply into your abdomen, your body produces nitric oxide, which is a natural compound that helps blood vessels relax and open. More relaxed blood vessels means better circulation to the pelvic region. This is one of the simplest and most effective things you can do, and it costs you nothing. Second, drink 1 glass of warm water first thing in the morning. After hours of sleep, your body is mildly dehydrated. Warm water gently stimulates your circulatory system and gets blood moving more efficiently right from the start of the day. Third, reduce sugar intake in the evening. Excess sugar damages the inner lining of blood vessels over time, and consuming it before sleep means your body spends the night repairing that damage instead of supporting healthy circulation. Cutting back on evening sugar is one of the kindest things you can do for your vascular health. These 3 habits are gentle, sustainable, and they work even better when combined with the 2 activation areas we just covered. Now I want to speak to you directly, not as a doctor reading from a textbook, but as someone who genuinely cares about your well-being. I know what it feels like to watch a man sit across from me and struggle to say the words, to admit that mornings don't feel the way they used to wonder, quietly, whether this is just the beginning of a long decline. And every single time I tell them the same thing I'm telling you right now. You are not past your prime. Your body has not abandoned you. The systems that create firmness, confidence, and vitality are still inside you. They've simply been understimulated. They've been waiting for you to pay attention again. You don't need to chase expensive treatments. You don't need to feel embarrassed. You just need to understand your body and give it consistent, gentle support. If this helped you today, please like this video, subscribe so you don't miss what's coming next, and share this with a friend, a brother, a neighbor, anyone who might be quietly struggling with the same questions you were asking before you clicked on this video. I'm Dr. Jocelyn, and I want you to remember something as you go about your day. Aging is not the end of vitality. It's an invitation to listen more closely, care more intentionally, and discover that your body still has so much to offer when you treat it with the respect it deserves. You deserve to wake up feeling strong. You deserve to feel connected to your body, and you absolutely deserve mornings that remind you of who you still are. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one.